guys, Crixley here with GirlGamer.com, and we just talked to the CEO, Tom Gross from iHeartGeeks, and I have to say that I'm geeking out myself because we're here with one of the most influential fashion icons in the industry who's also branching out into video games, and you know that he did come out with Dexter, Marc Ecko.
What's up?
Oh my God, and I love the glasses. Those are so cute.
Yeah, these are cool.
So now, what was it about iHeartGeeks that drew you to the game, that made you want to get a hold of it and revamp it and all that stuff?
You know, I'd like to think, people think that I do this because I'm like because I'm a businessman, and that's a part of it, but I you know, as someone who grew up playing games and who's been engaged in this space for, you know, for better or worse for the last, you know, better part of a decade, this was just a cool opportunity. There's been so many shakeups in the industry, and these kind of smaller, nimble publishers, you know, there's a lot of opportunity there. So they've reached out. It was just one of these entrepreneurial things where someone was on a plane and they exchanged a card, and I get a demo of the game, you know, the German version, and it seemed like an interesting design challenge. It was like, reimagine this, help us position the brand, create the brand, and it came very intuitively. You know, I'm a fan of like Rube Goldberg puzzles. I was playing a lot of DS stuff at the time, and it was just a cool opportunity.
What platforms do you play on, and what's your favorite platform to play on?
Well, I own every platform, right? You know, I have 3 young kids at home. My kids are, you know, 2 to 7, so I became much more Nintendo friendly as a household. And but for me personally, my platform of choice is the 360. You know, so that's my platform of choice. So, you know, for someone, you know, more mature content, you know, better, you know, sit back on the big HD screen, just like, you know, really take it all in. That's my platform. That said, developing titles for that platform is very, very hard. So for Dexter, for instance, when we got the license to the brand, my first thing we drew up a game plan for a next-gen title. That was my intent. And when the publishers were like, oh my God, M-rated, you know, is Target or Walmart really gonna buy this? You know, blah, 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 blah. We're like, fuck that. You know, excuse my French. You know, fuck that. You know, there's this interesting opportunity. The iPhone, okay, just because we're not familiar with it yet, and it's a little bit out of our nostalgia, okay, in terms of gaming, doesn't mean it can't necessarily be a good gaming platform. So, you know, we said, you know, let's make it for iPhone. So that's why, you know, we got it out there.
Now, when you did iHeartGeeks, was there any times where you took it home and you know, said, hey kids, do you want to see this? And they're like, no, Daddy, that doesn't work. Or did you guys try it out with kids as you went along? I
didn't so much demo it. I didn't really test it with my kids. You know, I feel like the gameplay is actually, it's an older, I think it's older than my kids, and it's actually quite a challenging puzzle game. So, you know, when I was working on it a year ago, when we were working on the code, you know, my daughter was only 6 at the time, and it's kind of a little, you know, it's not entirely intuitive for a 6-year-old. Like Mario, yes, but you know, some dress-up Imagine game maybe, but this, you know, wasn't really for her. So.
And I love that you said Mario, because there's always this. I call it Mario too, and they're like, it's Mario. I'm like, it's Mario. Yeah. Don't argue with. See, he says Mario.
I said Mario. I'm from Jersey.
See. You know, you do music and fashion and video games and all this stuff. So what advice would you give to a kid that looks up to you, or someone that, you know, wants to be like you and wants to start out like you? What advice would you have for that person? Like if they're, you know, if they're at a point where they're like, oh, this is not going to work, what would you say to them?
Well, first of all, if you believe it's not going to work, then it's not going to work, right? Because it's no one's job but yours to believe in yourself. Now that is some real Tony Robbins, kumbaya, you know, cliche stuff, but not your mother, not the person you're sleeping with. No one will believe in you the way that you will believe in you. So when you get all Debbie Downer and you think like, I'm having a bad day and it's just not possible, then it won't be possible. And what you have to take away is that all the pursuit, all the stuff where you look on from the outside, you think the grass is green, and you say, oh, you know, it's easy for you to say, you've been lucky, you've arrived, this, that, and the other. You know what? 15 years later, the thing that keeps me happy and motivated is to create new things. It's not the money. Like, I'm not here because CDV sent me a big check. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really love this space. I want to be in this space. You know, and I'm going to, like hell, fight to make these opportunities work, and not for vanity purpose. So, you know, the key advice is you have to believe in yourself, and you cannot think it's just all for the money or the glory. You have to do it because you love the game. The game, you will lose some. You will likely lose more than you will win. And that is a part of the game. If you don't love the game, get the fuck out. It's not for you. That's real.
See, now you guys know why I fucking love this guy so much, man. So, well, what's next for you now? Because you have iHeartGeeks. Is there anything else that you're working on that you can tell us about?
Oh yeah, let's see. In gaming, we've got a couple things in development. I can't really talk about. It's one of the things that kind of sucks about gaming is the you know how long the development cycle is. But I'm always constantly working on new things in gaming space. I've got, I don't know, from a fashion business perspective, I'm launching my first fragrance this fall. Total like go from Geeks to like some really sexy shit. So that launches this fall. It's called Ecko by Marc Ecko, and I know, original title.
I think I saw that on the website. Was it up there already? Like a little.
Starting to be promoted now. We did something with True Blood actually. You know, so we did like a fake version of the ads throughout the summer, and there were billboards around, you know, LA and New York.
I think I saw those. We were actually based in LA, and I think I did see those.
Yeah. So that launches this fall, which is cool because I've never quite believed that I was sexy enough to have or my brand was sexy enough to have a fragrance. But, you know, after 3 years of really working on development, I'm like, you know, time is now, and it launches, you know, this month.
Once again, fashion icon, gamer extraordinaire, cologne maker, sexy dude, Renaissance man, Marc Ecko. Thank you very much, sir. Crixley with Girl Gamer.